Hey, so a little something different for you today. I wanted to talk about fundamentals and basics, fads and gimmicks, and I wanted to write some things down for you. I've been watching uh, some educational stuff for the last couple of weeks, and he does it in this format, and I learned a lot about, I've been learning a lot from this format, so I wanted to try it out for you today. I think it's pretty cool. Okay, so let's start off with FIT from my last videos. For those of you that do not know, FIT stands for what we're about: fundamentals, high IQ, and toughness. So if I write this down, FIT, okay? And I write this down. If you follow us on social media, with the hashtag. Let's talk about the F, because that's fundamentals and that's basics. Now, when I was watching the video, he was talking about health, which is very important for athletes as well. And I'm trying to learn this for myself. When you get into health, especially today now, things are always changing with the science, and it's very overwhelming. I got to be honest with you. It's, there's people out there that say, you would think growing up that eating an apple would be healthy, for example. Now they're saying that a lot of fruits have a lot of sugar in it. Now there's all these people that are saying that sugar is so bad for you and all that. So it can be overwhelming. It's like you really don't really know what to do. So what he was talking about, a couple things, is on health, is that he said, let's go over the basics first. So what he did was, and I love this, and someone asked a question about health, about something that was kind of a fad, or it was called like nootropics or something like that, like a supplement. And those are typically things that you're trying to take to avoid the basics, in my opinion. So he wrote these down. He said, let's go over the basics of your health. And I'll talk about this in basketball after this. He wrote air, okay, fundamental. Need air to breathe and live, and also you want to make sure it's as clean as possible. Sleep. Said, don't ever mess with sleep. Don't ever mess with sleep. Make sure you get at least 8 hours, okay? Water. Now, right away, with these two, most people probably struggle with these areas: getting good sleep, getting enough water. I know I struggle with this one. Sleep, water, diet, and what you put into your body. So that could be a whole ball of wax there. Exercise, weights, diet, exercise, lifting weights. Okay, here's some basics and fundamentals, right? I don't know if I've never thought of it this way, but here's 6 things right here. How many people can honestly say that they have all of these mastered? I know I can't. Most people will say, okay, well, I'm at a 5 out of 10 here, probably 4 here, with all this stuff, exercise and weights. So he said that the person that asked about nootropics or these diet pills or stuff like that, he said, those are, you're going down this hierarchy, those are like down here. Okay, I wish I had a bigger pad here. But like those are down here. So basically what he's saying is, get these mastered first. Stop thinking about all that. That's fads, that's gimmicks. These are always going to be important. If you master that, you're 80-90% of the way there. So let's talk about how this, so we can cut that. So let's talk about how this applies to basketball. Basics. Scoring the ball. Offense. Stopping the other team from scoring. Let's just put ball. Scoring and stopping the ball. Strip it down to the mere basics of the game. Then you've got, just put shooting. Fundamental. In the game, The ball is not always going to go in, not going to be perfect. Rebounding. Free throws. Conditioning. You got to be in shape to play the game. And strength. Ball handling. Now, ball handling is not just dribbling. It's handling the ball, fakes, shot fakes, pass fakes, ripping the ball, okay? But dribbling is a skill, fundamental skill. I'd put it down lower. It's not done as much as most people think. So here are some basics of the game, okay? And in the same way we talked about health, someone asked me recently, they said, how do I improve my decision making? Well, that's a tough question. First of all, it's very vague. And there's a way, and I can help you out with that. But the first thing, we could also put jumping here too. First thing I'd say is, how are you at this, defending? You got all this dialed? Because that is important, and that's in our IQ, but that's down here. Get this down. Down here is double counter moves from the wing. Counters, or these crazy ball handling drills. All sorts of new fads and things that come in. Now, you know why they come in, okay? In the movie Rounders about poker, they said, if you sit at a poker table and you don't know who the sucker is within the first 30 minutes, then you're the sucker. So the people that are selling these fads and gimmicks, I have some friends that do it and stuff. It's nothing against them. It's just like the most smartest people in the world will tell you that get rich quick schemes, quick diets, fads, and gimmicks, they don't work. They get rich quick scheme gets the person selling it to you rich. That's the only person that gets rich, right? So it's fun to focus on this stuff, but this is the stuff where you're going to get your most results. That's the fundamentals of the game. That's where you want to focus. Get this stuff down. The other thing is, when I talked about synthesis in my last video, was what does everyone agree on? So if you go on health, there's all sorts of different schools of thought, vegans, people, all different sorts of things. He said, what is the one thing that almost everybody, 95, 99% will agree that is healthy? And that is vegetables. I don't know of any school of health that says that this is bad. I wrote that pretty small. So he said that vegetables are everybody synthesizes on that. I don't care what it is. Okay? Maybe some fruitarians, he said. Fruitarians will say that they're more into fruit. But anyways, this is what they all agree on. This is the synthesis. So make sure you add that to your diet. Now, going with this stuff, I don't know of a coach, whether they teach 1-3-1, whether they have a different philosophy, there is no one that can argue this. Making free throws, being in great shape, being a good ball handler. The top of this stuff right here, you can't argue that. Teamwork, wherever that falls. Who's going to argue having teamwork, right? This could be argued, and that is good and fine, but get that dialed in, just like I talked about in health. I'll give you another example of that. Okay, so I'm going to talk about another topic that has basics in it, and it'll help bring the topic home as well, because I want to talk about Warren Buffett. And he's an investor, right? So he has some basics. The first one that he says is 2 rules. Don't lose money. It's kind of funny, that he says that. Obviously, you're going to. But his second rule is remember the first, because he knows the time value of money. If the more that you have in your principal and you invest over time, the more that you'll have later. He says stuff like margin of safety. I was watching a video with him and Jay-Z getting interviewed by Forbes, and he said, if I have a truck that weighs 9,999 pounds, and I'm driving through a place on the road that says you must be under 10,000 pounds, I'm not driving through that. I'm going over to the one that says 20,000 because I need a margin of safety. I'm not going to mess with that. Or he'll talk about, price and value. And he's very, the difference of price and value. He's very into these basics. Now, Warren Buffett, for those of you who don't know, everybody that is into the market, because the market has so many fads, right? They all live in New York and they're all on the trading room floor. He purposely lives in Omaha away from it so he stays away from the fads. Warren Buffett is famous, and I could be wrong, for avoiding the 2000 stocks. The 2000 internet stocks. Stayed away from it. That hit a bubble. He stayed away from the real estate in like 2008 and stuff like that. All those gimmicks and fads and subprime mortgages and all that. So I know it's crazy to think about all this, but like he's a great example of someone that is really successful that just sticks to his basics and tries to avoid all that. And I was at a clinic. The last story is that when I was at the Fresno State Clinic, Coach Matic said something that I don't even know if he meant it to be this deep, but he was talking about transition, and transition actually could be put up in the front that I forgot. Transition offense, transition defense, starting and stopping is a big part of the game. He said that, let's say the hoops here, whatever. When you miss a shot, everybody's going north-south, north-south. That's where everyone's going because they're trying to protect this, okay, perimeter. So what he said was, on offense, is that good guards facilitate an east-west opportunity or going against the grain. Temporarily, they go east-west because people are not going to stop for them to do this and chase them because they have to worry about this, north-south. And he said if you go to, again, New York, and people in the stock market or very big cities, he says people going to work at 9 a.m., north-south, 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 right? And I took this as a deeper meaning because it's like if you can consciously find a way to go against the grain, go east-west, that's like a good guard. That's somebody like they're going against the grain on what everybody's doing all the time. They're consciously making a decision to temporarily go against the grain. So I liked that a lot when he said that, and I equate that back with don't get involved with all the craziness of the fads going all the time of these schemes. Go back to fit. First one, okay, what we're talking about. Fundamentals. They occur in everything. There's fundamentals of coaching. There's fundamentals of being an assistant. There's fundamentals of being the last guy on the bench, being a good teammate. That's what we focus on because that's where we're going to get our most value in the long term, in the short term, and everything. You could see a big difference by just focusing, like I said, on health, investing, whatever. Master those, and then don't be the person that asks questions that are down here. Okay? That's when 20 years down the road, you can look into that. Master those, you're off to the right start. This is Brian with Top Gun Basketball. Thanks for watching.